People say that revenge corrupts the soul. That if you go down that path, you'll never come back. But sometimes, embracing the darkness is the only way to get justice. My name is Emiko Queen. I will get justice for my mother, and no one will stand in my way.
Hello, Emiko.
Alright, what is going on guys, it's Tazz here, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we've got for you guys is another Arrow video. Now that Arrow is finally back from its mid-season break, I thought it was a good time to go over what has been teased by the showrunner, that being Beth Schwartz, as to what to expect going forward into the back half of Season 7. And as always, I will link the articles used down in the description below if you guys do want to go check them out for yourselves. Within the mid-season premiere, we were finally properly introduced to Emiko Queen, or Emiko Queen, however you want to pronounce it. I think it was pronounced both ways within the episode, so I guess it's all up to personal preference. Anyway, we learned about Emiko's backstory with her mother and Robert Queen. We saw that she made it her mission to avenge her mother's murder, as well as we just got to see a lot more of her out in action. And I've got to say, I really did enjoy the whole intro monologue from Emiko that finished up at the end of the episode as well. Seeing her out on the streets crossing names off of her list really gave me some Season 1 Oliver vibes, so I really enjoyed that part of the episode. We also saw Emiko team up with Renee throughout the episode, and they eventually added Curtis to their new vigilante team as well. I especially did enjoy the dynamic between Renee and Emiko all throughout the episode, so I thought that that was really nice. But at the end of the episode as well, we finally had all of Oliver and Felicity's investigation come to a head as we finally saw Oliver confront his new half-sister for the first time, and we will get a continuation to that next week in addition to all of the Ghost Initiative stuff according to that trailer. Outside of the big stuff for the episode, that being the Emiko storyline, we also got some pretty cool setup for the Ghost Initiative, as well as what to expect going forward in the future storyline. So Ghost Initiative Suicide Squad 2.0 is coming in full force for the next episode, and we have also been told throughout a few different interviews that we will be getting a lot more of the flash forward stuff, and even a full-on flash forward episode within episode 16, so definitely look forward to that if you are really invested in that flash forward storyline. To me, the future stuff is definitely interesting, but I'm not so sure how I feel about knowing where these characters end up. It's a pretty awful Darkest Timeline future where Renee is the mayor of the Glades and Felicity has been murdered by possibly someone that Renee is working with, and Team Arrow is all split up and everything. And as far as we've been told, this future is the set future. Everybody has a specific destiny that leads them all to this future timeline, so, you know, unless something like Crisis on Infinite Earths changes this is where all of our characters are going to end up. But the tease of a Renee and Dinah fight does actually sound pretty cool though. Some things that I have liked throughout this future storyline have been Roy and William and the future Zoe and even Blackstar, but there are some other aspects of it that I'm just not so sure about. Especially Renee's wig, like, come on, that you could do better than that, Arrow. So hopefully episode 16, which is supposedly going to be the full-on future episode, will sort of grab my attention again with this flash-forward storyline. Maybe we'll see Emiko pop up there now since we do have her backstory in present day as well. And also don't forget that we might see John Diggle Jr., aka Connor Hawke, once again within the future as well. But some other things that were teased by Beth Schwartz throughout these couple of different interviews were the fact that we were going to be getting some more about why Felicity went dark and all of the smoke tech stuff within the future, as well as she did also tease something that was pretty interesting as well, and that was the fact that Roy doesn't know who Blackstar is, so that could definitely throw a wrench in some theories. And in addition to this, we will also figure out why he was on the island. But back to the character of Blackstar, aka Maya, I'm still hoping that they make this character some sort of take on the Mia Dearden Speedy character and change her up and maybe make her the daughter of Roy and Thea that Roy maybe doesn't know about, but we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. So that means there is still definitely a lot to look forward to on the future front. The next big piece of info that we learned from these interviews with the Arrow showrunner is that all of the Argus Dante painting stuff will come back around again, and this makes me think that it could somehow be linked to everything going on with Emiko. As we saw within the most recent episode, she has hit kind of a dead end on the investigation into her mother's murder, so that would be interesting to see if maybe Diaz or the Ninth Circle or something is somehow involved with the whole Dante thing and maybe somehow has something to do with the murder of Emiko's mother. And I do think that that would be a pretty nice way to tie in more of the Emiko backstory into everything going on with the overarching story of this season. Something else that was teased from the interviews was that we will be seeing Oliver deal with the fallout of unmasking himself to the world. This will probably come up in that episode where we see him doing the interview with Laurel and everything, and probably with the Emiko story as well. So I'm definitely pretty excited for more on that. But speaking of Laurel, and all of us that are big fans of that redemption arc with her and everything should be pleasantly surprised by this, but we will supposedly be seeing her whole redemption arc come to a head as we will be getting the Earth 2 backstory flashbacks, as well as we will be seeing her lead her own Birds of Prey style team at some point later on this season. So that is something that I am super excited for. I absolutely love the Earth 2 version of Laurel, so I'm happy that we'll be getting more of her and her backstory, as well as the tease that she is going to be leading her own Birds of Prey inspired team. While nothing has been said as of yet about the roster, if I had to give it a guess, I'd probably say with Laurel leading out in the field, we might have Emiko backing her up, maybe Huntress, maybe Batwoman could come back, Dinah could also be out there, or someone else that would be really cool, and obviously Felicity as their person in the chair, as Curtis would call it. In the comics and everything, the Birds of Prey are usually made up of Black Canary, Huntress, and Batgirl, with some other rotating characters thrown in there as well. It would only be fitting if we had Black Siren leading the team that we could have Emiko maybe fill that Huntress role and Batwoman filling that Batgirl position. Just a cool little thought there, especially since the Batwoman pilot is supposed to start filming in a couple of months now, so if everything works out, I would really love to see Batwoman appear on Arrow once again. So whatever ends up happening here with the roster, I'm just excited for the Laurel-led Birds of Prey. Next really big piece of information here is that episode 12 this season, which is also the overall 150th episode of Arrow, will be a documentary style episode where Team Arrow will be followed around by a camera crew, and we will see them making a documentary about what it's like having them as vigilantes in Star City. I think the episode is called something like The Hood and the Rise of Vigilantes, which is a very cool episode title, so an entire episode dedicated to showing how cool our vigilante characters on the show are is a very awesome way to celebrate 150 episodes across 7 seasons, so that is one thing that I'm very excited about. Speaking of the 150th episode, I think that is also going to be the episode where we have both Thea and Ragman back as well, in addition to William in present day, so definitely looking forward to the return of these characters. But onto the last big piece of info, and that is the fact that we might see some of the effects of the crossover sprinkled throughout the rest of Season 7, but we should really expect everything to come to a head more in Season 8 leading up to the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. So this means that we probably won't hear much outside of some brief references like we got within this most recent episode. So don't expect Oliver's deal with the Monitor to be revealed this season, but it is nice to know that we do have a little while to speculate on this before Crisis, I guess later on this year now. But with that said, guys, I really did enjoy the mid-season premiere for Arrow, and I'm so glad that it's back. All of the Emiko stuff was great. I think she's an awesome addition to the show, and I can't wait to see more of her and learn even more about her backstory. I'm definitely intrigued, to say the least, by the flash-forward stuff. I'm very excited about the return of the Suicide Squad under the name of the Ghost Initiative. Can't wait for that documentary episode, but what I think I might be the most excited for is that Birds of Prey team-up. The back half of Arrow Season 7 seems like it is only going to get better from here. I've been really enjoying this season so far. I have to say, I think it has been my favorite DC TV show this season, and I just can't wait for more. So with that said, guys, I want to know your thoughts about all of this down in the comments below. What did you think of the mid-season premiere? How are you liking Emiko so far, and what are you most excited for in the back half of Season 7? I want to know your thoughts about all of this down in the comments below. But until next time, guys, it's been Tazz, and I'll see you guys in the next video.